Okay, this is the data attributes code analysis from chapter 6 of Begin to Code with JavaScript. Go to begintocodewithjavascript.com to get all the stuff. That sounded very, very FMDJ over the top type, didn't it? Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so this is, I'm going to work through this particular one because this is using data attributes in the HTML to control the behavior of the code. And I've got two rides up here, and if I look at the text in the book, it says, does this code work? Well, let's check it. Let's put in, let's say I'm 2 years old, which is a bit of a regression for me. Hit that, yeah, bang. 2-year-olds can go on a river cruise, 2-year-olds cannot go on Carnival Carousel. So on the basis of that testing, I think I can say it would work. But what we can also do is start playing around with the attributes on the document that we're working with. So if I press F12, boom, up comes my developer view, friend, and I move to the console, and now I can start getting things happening. The first thing I have to do if I want to look at the attributes inside a particular element in the document is get that document element referenced. So if I do this, that says, okay, ask the document, can I have the element that is called Carnival Carousel, which is this guy on the screen here. And I go bang. And now what's happened is a variable called Carnival Carousel element has been created, and it refers to the element on the screen. The reason why it says undefined here, which is always confusing, but don't worry, is that undefined is the result returned by the statement that called this method. And this is always undefined. Sometimes you get a number or thing we can use there, but if you call some method, you get undefined back. That's just the way it is. But I can ask the Carnival Carousel element, hey, get me the contents of the attribute called data max age. Watch this. Watch how fast I can type. Boom! Isn't that quick? If I hit return now, then it goes off, looks inside the document structure, finds the content of the attribute and returns it as 120, which is what we know. We've actually got that in the HTML, which is great. We can do the same thing. We can go off and we can get the minimum age if we want to do that, because that's the other attribute that has got data about our application, which is stored inside the list item in the web page. And look, there you go. It's coming back as 3. That's kind of cute. If I just look here very quickly, slight digression, and I go up and look at the code, then you can find inside the list, there it is, you can find these 2 list items, and there are the actual attributes in the raw HTML. We're not actually, we're using a structure in memory, which is the document, which has got this information in it, but that's where it came from. It lived inside those list items. If I do something silly, and this has been known, if I ask for a data attribute which is not present, let's see what happens. This should not work, and indeed it doesn't, because there is no attribute called data silly age. I'm going to null back, which is fine. What I can do though, which is quite legitimate, and even in the programming context, it's very, very useful. I can set the values of these attributes. So I've got my statement here, which I typed again. Really, it's almost as if I'm block copying the text. It's amazing. Goes real fast. If I actually do this, I'm saying set the attribute on this element to 99. I'm effectively changing the maximum age for that item. And if I go back and look in my elements view here, you'll find that, oh look, yes, it has been changed. Now this is not changing the HTML text in the web page, it's changing this structure which contains the document that page describes. Once your web page starts being controlled by your JavaScript program, the program can do anything to it. That includes reading data out of the elements, it includes changing data. As we'll see now, you can also actually create new attributes. We could make a brand new attribute that contains something we haven't actually used before, and we can even use the elements on our web page to store values for our program to use. This is extremely powerful. I can put a new attribute on there called data test, And if I now go back and look in here, we'll have, oh look, there it is, data test. It's here, data test. So we can interact with our web page in a really interesting and powerful way. And it turns out that I can create attributes on any of the elements in the web page. There is a convention that in the book it says, should they always start with the word data? And the answer is JavaScript doesn't care, the language doesn't care. But from a good design perspective, it's a good idea to take the trouble to give the word data at the start, so that anyone reading the code will know, aha, Rob is storing some data in here. So what we've done is really powerful. We've actually taken the age limits for our ride and we've pulled them out of the JavaScript program and put them right next to the ride description in the HTML page itself. So everything lives in one place and it's in the data, not hardwired into my code. Wonderful. Now let's move on.